Welcome everybody. Let's take a look at the stock market. These are the S&P 500 futures. We're going to look at the weekly, the daily, and the trade of the day. This is the weekly chart. Take a look at this energy flow. I don't normally show this to the public. This is usually reserved for members. Again, we're looking at the weekly chart here, but look at this energy flow. See it? It started somewhere about right over in here, I guess. What did the market do? Well, boom, took off. Right? And then what? Energy flow started moving down. What's the market doing? Right, so you can see right here, right, that this late June through July, you can see energy just spiked, right? Here is the 25 line. I'm just going to say this, the 25 line right here. So we've had several weeks above that line, right? Look at this, going all the way back even to last November. You don't really see energy sustain that high for that long like you are seeing here. All right, so I'm not going to dive too deep into what this is, but for the members, they get updated every day in a nightly email regarding the certainty rate. And it's an integral part of my trading, and it helps members to kind of guide them in the direction that I think, in my opinion, where I think the market is going to be headed, okay? All right, so let's talk about this weekly chart. Well, I get a big old fat red candlestick going on here. The range is 116, okay? So the low was 45, we'll call it 45.06. What do you know? It came right on down and touched this line, right, for the week. 45.06, here's 45.09. So I mean, I want to convey that, these lines on here are what, I talk about this often. These are natural support and or resistance lines or price points. They're not Fibonacci retracement stuff. And the market will do this over and over and over again, right? It'll naturally gravitate towards natural support and resistance that, like for instance, let me just give an example. I can just eyeball this chart going back here to the early part of 2023. And I can tell you right now, here's a resistance point right here. I can easily identify it with my eye. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 candlesticks all just coming right up against this line, right? You can see it with your eye, correct? So that would be resistance. So where would there be support? There's some localized support like right here. See it? There's localized support here. There's some support over here. So you should be able to pick those things up with your eye. There's a little bit of support even right here at this line. Okay, those are what I call natural support and resistance that always is in the market. All right, so I'm just pulling this 45.09 line from way back earlier, I think all the way back to 2022 or 2021 on the weekly chart. And sure enough, it comes out and touches it. So just be aware of these things when you're trading. Oh, I always talk about this. Be aware of multiple time frames: monthly, weekly, daily, hourly, 15-minute, 5-minute. May sound like a lot, but you're going to be a much better trader if you pay attention to the multiple time frames. All right. So what do I see on the weekly chart? I see more decline because we've got this divergence still going on. The MACD is still sitting up here, elevated at 137. Right, things are just trying to roll over here a little bit, but they haven't yet. The weekly chart, right, things move slowly, right? It's a weekly chart. It's more methodical. It's going to kind of move slower. All right, let's take a look at the daily chart. You'll be aware of this August, before we go to the daily chart, be aware of this August 13th cycle low, and we're going to see here in a moment there's more cycle lows on the daily chart, okay? All right, so here we are on the daily chart. We can see this is the futures that just opened up like 15, 20 minutes ago, half an hour ago. But we're really concerned about this chart. I mean, this candlestick right here. This is the one that just ended for a previous day. And the range there was pretty small, about 42. But it was a red candlestick. And you can see it tried to hold on to this on the daily chart. What do you know? Here's a natural support point, 45.28. And why did I pick that? Because you can see back here there was natural support. And there was also one right back over here. These 4 or 5 candlesticks right in this area. And I said this yesterday, and I'll say it again today. I told my members that, hey, the first natural support we're going to get is somewhere around 45.53, which it did. The market came down 2 days ago, and it sat at this line for like a few hours. And I told them below that's going to be 45.28. Well, what do you know? Look at that candlestick. It came right down, touched 45.28, just sat there. It just sat there for hours 2 days ago. Just kind of sat there bouncing around. Finally, it broke through. Kind of broke through yesterday, earlier today or last night, I should say. Got all the way down to 45.05. Okay, and we just saw that on the weekly chart, there's a major support point at 45.09. You would never know that by looking at the daily chart. You would never know it by only looking at one chart, one time frame. Now you know why I say you need to look at multiple time frames: weekly, daily, hourly, 15-minute, and 5-minute. Because only the weekly chart shows us the 45.09 support. You would never see it on the daily chart, right? It's hard. You can't see it here. It doesn't exist. But the weekly chart shows it. You can see I have it here sitting on an old number. All right. So that's really, really important. And that's why this candlestick that we just saw close today, right, this one only got down to 45.05 and stopped because it's basically hit up against the 45.09 support. All right. So what do I think is going to happen next? This is getting kind of bottomish here on the SMI. It hasn't really reached the bottom yet. I think there's more to come, though it could bottom out right in here and just sit around in this area around this 45.28, 45.09 area, just kind of consolidate down in here for a while and maybe get a bounce, one more good bounce, right? And then roll over coming down into the third week of August. That is possible. We might see a bounce here. One of these deals. Or it could just continue straight down, but I don't think it's going to blast off, get above 46.31 and start going towards all-times high. I just don't think that. And why? Because look at this MACD. It's telling the story, guys. We're getting the Mississippi River here, man. We're in this big old wide area developing in the MACD on the crossover, right? It's big and fat. Look over here, big and fat. Big fat gaps. Price went crazy. Well, we're getting the same thing in the opposite direction. So even if this does get the bounce on the kind of the quicker, faster moving indicators like the stochastic momentum index here, I don't think it's going to be sustainable. I think it's going to come up in here, whatever it's going to do, and it's going to fail if it even comes up at all. So those are the two scenarios I think could happen. We could get a bounce up in here, and then it's going to decline down into this third week of August. Or this thing just kind of consolidates, chucks sideways, and continues to go down. Either way, the market looks weak to me. I don't see some big, huge bounce and some bullish occurrence happen. Yes, we might get a bounce up in here. It could happen, but I don't think it's sustainable, and I think the price is going to continue to decline. So ultimately, what I think is the 50-day moving average is doable. Now it's rising, right? This is the blue line. It is rising. Right now it's 44.36, but I don't think it's going to stay there, right? It's still rising. Eventually, it'll begin to kind of like smooth out and kind of roll over if price continue to decline. But that's where I think the next natural support is the 50-day moving average. Whether we get the bounce first then the drop, I don't know. Do we just get the drop? It doesn't really matter. Either way, I think we're in for more price decline overall, kind of long term, okay? So if you want to know what's going to happen, like should I trade short, should I trade long? That's why you want to be looking at the 1 hour, the 15-minute, and the 5-minute, particularly the 1 hour and the 5-minute. Those two charts are invaluable for shorter time frames. So the members get the 5-minute, the 15-minute, and the 1 hour streaming charts on my membership. All right. So by the way, if you're interested in that, you can look at the link in the first description of this comment. It'll be pinned to the top. Use it. Make sure you read the whole comment to show, because it's going to tell you how to join properly without having any complications in the way you join the membership. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the trade of the day. All right. Here we are on the 5-minute chart, and the trade of the day really is over here at about 10:30 a.m. Right, you get this little run up right here. Nice trade. If you were up early in the morning, early kind of pre-market, this is over here about 7:15, 7:20 Texas time here, then you could have traded that one. And again, for the members and those that want to join, how would I trade this? Well, I can see that, at the time this alert came in on the Giddus Plus indicator, that, this is already sitting in the middle. So I'm not going to trade this right at the time the alert happens. I'm going to wait, this bottoms. And I got a couple choices. I could trade this going up, which is fine if you want to do that. But you got to pay attention what the MACD is doing. And the MACD in this case was going negative. So for me, I like to go with the greatest probabilities. So I would have waited for this decline. I would not have traded this upswing. I would have traded this crossover right here down. Because now I've got both the short-term fast-moving stochastic momentum index and the MACD that's clearly in negative territory, right? It's below the purple line here, all working with me. And sure enough, the market starts to pull back pretty well. Looks like it pulled back about 10, maybe 17 points. You might catch 12, 13 of that. Really nice trade. That's nice money, guys. Especially if you're trading the E-minis or you happen to be trading options. That's really nice bank right there. All right. And then later in the day, just be patient. Wait for the next alert to show up. And then you get the dip here and they get their little bounce. And that's the trade you make going this way. So maybe you catch it somewhere in here. And you pick up 5, maybe 6, 7, 8 points of this 10-point bounce, right? You don't probably catch all of it because it's hard to catch every last little bit of the movement. You want to catch the meat of the movement, be happy with the profits, and move on. Okay, end of the day, this one had several trades throughout this day that were really good. Here's one right here that happened. This would be post intraday, so the intraday market would have been closed. But if you're trading the futures, guess what? Nice, 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 right? Crosses over right here. Take this trade. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. That's another 10 points right there pretty easily out of about a 15-point move. Maybe you pick up even 11 or 12 points out of this movement here. So there really were multiple trades, especially on the 5-minute chart today, that you could take advantage of using the Giddus Plus indicator. All right, like I said, if you want to join the membership, then click on the link that's in the first comment of this video. It's going to bring you over to the Giddus server here. Make sure you read that comment really well. It's going to help you join without any problems. When you come to the server eventually, you're going to get to the server subscriptions. You click on that. Guys and gals, $7.99. I just showed a trade, I think it was yesterday or the day before. I made $1,500. Now, I'm not saying everybody's going to be able to do that because different people are at different levels of maturity when it comes to their account sizes and their maturity and their ability to trade. If you're a new beginner and you want to join the membership, that's fine. Just don't expect miracles in the first month, okay? Just be patient, be really smart, learn how to use the membership. Don't make big trades. Definitely don't do all-in trades because that's craziness, okay? The membership's going to pay for itself if you take your time and really be patient and place really good trades, okay? To do that, you got to be patient and learn how the service works and use it to your advantage, all right? I want to just show you real quick some of the things that you get with the service, all right? We saw the 5-minute chart, right? We looked at the trade of the day. I showed multiple trades with the Giddus Plus indicator. Well, guess what? Those same alerts that are on that indicator come over here to the Discord server for the members, and they show up in this S&P 500 alerts channel. All right, here was the 5-minute alert at 7:15 this morning. Right, really nice. Here was the next one we talked about around 10:30. Then I said there was another one around 3:30. Here it was right here. So the members get alerted to these trades even if they're not watching the streaming charts. Okay, I have several members right now. They're looking, and even right now, it's the futures are trading because futures start at 5 o'clock Central Time here in Texas. They're on the streaming charts right now. They're looking at the streaming charts because they're watching the charts and they're doing their thing, getting ready to make trades. Okay, and making bank, right? They're taking advantage of the market, not just intraday, but 23 hours out of the day because futures trade 23 hours a day, 5 days a week. So they might be trading options during intraday, but some of them are trading futures the rest of the time. Okay, I've had a lot of members that are doing really well, both the options and futures. Okay, so I'm just trying to give you some little bit of context about how the members make use of the service. Okay, here lastly, this is, you can just pause the video right here if you want to, but this is where this is a list of all the membership services, and all of it resides on the Discord server. Now we looked at the streaming charts, one of them, but you get the 5-minute, the 15-minute, the 1-hour streaming charts. You get top 30. Go to this one, the top 30 stocks at S&P 500, the Nasdaq, or in the S&P 500 alerts channel. That's really nice. Okay. And then there's an S&P 500 alerts. You get the 5, 15 minute, 1 hour, go into that channel. It's a different channel. Okay. Premium symbols channel. So at the end of each day, there's a whole list of symbols that get generated using the same logic on the Gittes Plus indicator for futures and stocks that are optionable, industries, which, big funds are rotating their money in and out of sectors and subsectors in these industries. So that's an important file to look at. Any symbols that may look like they could be shorted, right? They're looking like they might be in a position where they would be a good short or show up in this file. These are just 4 files that sit in the Premium Symbols channel on the Discord server. So I recommend to the members, if you're not using those files, take a look at them, because I use the futures. I trade primarily futures, but take a look at those files, because right now I got a copper trade going on, and I'm pulling that reference from the futures files from a few days ago. Okay, so I use it. Okay, nightly emails. If you haven't put your email in the emails only channel in the Discord server, if you're a member and you want the nightly email, put your email in there. You're going to get a chart of the S&P 500 attached to the email every night, and I give a few sentences, maybe up to a paragraph, of my opinion about what the market's going to do. You saw the certainty rate, which I don't normally show to the public, but I showed it today. Okay, they get updated every day on the certainty rate and energy flows that affect the market. Okay, so if you want that, that's included as well. Okay, of course, YouTube videos are for everybody. All right, guys and gals, hope you had a really good day. Happy trading, everybody. God bless everybody. We'll talk to you all real soon again next time.